Welcome to Breaking Through Health Barriers. I'm your host, Dr. Terri Wenner, bringing you wisdom, wit, and encouragement for healthy living. I'm an educator, a registered nurse, a podcaster, and a blogger, and I'm so glad you decided to listen in today. This is episode 0, where you get to meet your host. For starters, I wanted to take a few minutes just to tell you a little bit more about myself. I've been married for 25 years. My husband and I just celebrated our 25th wedding anniversary. We're both lifelong Pennsylvanians and have 2 grown children. Russ works in the IT field, so I'm blessed to have my own personal tech guy in-house. We like to exercise regularly and enjoy walking our 2 rescue dogs most evenings. We even walk in the dark when days are shorter and we lose daylight. But that's what they made flashlights for, right? Our daughter is a college graduate and she currently works in the business field. And our son is a senior in college studying criminal justice, and he also serves in the Pennsylvania Army National Guard. My work experience is primarily in nursing and education. When I was in college for my bachelor's degree, I started working as a nursing assistant in the coronary care unit of a local hospital. And I went on to be a staff nurse on the cardiac step-down unit, moving into intensive care and coronary care, and eventually became a second shift nursing supervisor. At that point, it had been about 13 years since my career had started. I had young children at home, and there was a lot of stress going on in life, and I just decided to take a few years to focus on my family and became a stay-at-home mom. After a few years, it was time to return to work, and I had a variety of part-time nursing jobs. I taught CPR, administered flu shots, and even did some work in a pediatric clinic. But eventually, I knew it was time to return to full-time work. The children were older. I needed to start worrying about college bills. So I kind of tuned into what I might like to do next in my career. And a few people who knew me very well pointed out that they really saw teaching abilities in me. So I decided to pursue that and went and got a job at a local community college as a nursing instructor, and did go back to school for my master's in nursing with an education focus. Once that degree was complete, I was hired on full-time as a nursing instructor for a private university, and that's where I've spent the last 7 years of my career. I taught courses such as the chronically ill adult, the acutely ill adult, the older adult, therapeutic nursing interventions, which is a fancy way of saying that the type of things that you do to help people feel better, such as giving medications, wound care, attending to people's urinary systems or their bowel care. And I also taught nursing pharmacology. That's been my most recent addition. The other thing that I've been doing is for the past 5 years, I've been working on my doctoral degree in education with a focus on organizational leadership. At this point, I've been working in healthcare for over 25 years and in higher education for over 10. I've worked alongside some of the best minds in healthcare. I've been mentored by many of them and challenged by others to be the best that I can be. I'm passionate about many things. I'm passionate about helping other people find their path to a better life so that they can be happier, healthier, and overall more enjoyable to be around. I do tend to push people a little bit in the right direction, but that's in a very humorous and loving way. I also love accomplishing new things, exciting things. I'm a great strategizer. I love learning, and I plan on digging up a lot of research to support my claims so that you're not listening to just a resounding gong. I actually have something of substance to say. Out of the last 10 years, I spent 9 years of those 10 in some type of graduate school, and I was successfully able to defend my dissertation and complete my Doctor of Education degree just last week. So I plan on doing a lot of the research so you don't have to. What can you expect from me with this blog and podcast episodes that I'll be doing? I plan on blogging twice weekly. That'll usually be posted on Mondays and Thursdays, and you can find that right on my website. And I'll also be podcasting about every other week. I've also started writing my first book, so I'll be keeping everyone up to date on the progress in that on both blogs and podcasts. The next thing I'd like to talk about is a little bit about the show name. So the show name is, the podcast show name is Breaking Through Health Barriers. There are many aspects of health, but regardless of what type of health that you're speaking about, people run into problems achieving the results they want. I know this from my own personal experience, from watching friends and family members with their struggles, and from seeing many hospital beds filled with people with health problems. Sometimes it truly was out of our control, such as, being in an accident and being ill because of that. But more often than not, we earned the health problems because of our own choices. And I want to share a personal example. In 2013, my weight officially fell into the obese category. I'm under 5 feet tall, and when I would see pictures of myself, I noticed that I vaguely resembled a beach ball. Holy Toledo, seriously? The chronically ill health instructor looks like a beach ball. That's just wonderful. When I would teach class, I literally must have said 100 times that poor health choices place patients at higher risk for a hugely long list of diseases. And at the same time, I was hitting the local Burger King on the way home from work, teaching evening classes at 10 p.m. I used to buy candy for the jar in my office, and I told everyone it was for my students, but who was spending most of the time in the office? That would be me. So I had sugar highs just a moment away from my lips. You get the picture. It wasn't that I didn't know what to do, I just didn't do it. And I know I'm not alone in that. I've had much success in the past few years. I've learned many helpful things that helped me be successful. And in 2015, about a year and a half after I really started to deal with this problem, I had lost 50 pounds and was then in a normal weight range. A year after that, I was still able to keep all but just a few pounds off, and I'm still, on the path to maintaining that success. So I know that we all have barriers that we have to break through in our healthcare, and that is what I'll be speaking about on my podcasts. History or research that's showing, what's the latest and greatest in health statistics, progress in healthcare, tips and tricks on how to change your own habits to be able to be more successful. There are some things that I'm not going to be talking about in the podcast. First of all, I'm not a medical doctor. So everyone with the name doctor in front of their name doesn't mean that you actually went to med school. I have not. So therefore, I'm not really qualified to diagnose or treat your medical problems. But I can point you in the right direction. And you will, at times, need to see a medical doctor, a nurse practitioner, a physician assistant. And that's because they have the expertise to help you with those problems. There also may be times where you need a licensed therapist, a counselor, or even pastoral support. I can't do those things for you either. So we'll point you in the direction so that you can find someone with qualifications that can help you. I really look forward to getting to know many of you in the months and years ahead. On my webpage, after each of the blog posts, there's a comment section. So feel free to leave your thoughts or your questions there. You can drop me an email. There's a contact page that you can drop me comments if you'd like to. And there's also a way that you can sign up for any kind of new posts to my page, updates on the website. And when you do that, you'll be able to get a free copy of a tool that I developed. It's called the Personal Health Status Checkup. So a great place to start is just to see where you are in your health. What are your personal goals? What do you want to work on? And if you find the information on my podcasts or blogs helpful, I encourage you to share it with a friend. There's no sense in keeping a good secret bottled up. Tell somebody who can benefit from that. So thank you for tuning in. This is Dr. Terri Wenner. Together, we're going to break through as many health barriers as possible and live happier, healthy lives. So have a wonderful day. I hope you'll tune in again soon.